Alright, Q&A for episode 13. Here we go. And yes, I played enough of Witcher 3 to start Blood and Wine DLC. No, I am not addicted to good gameplay and storytelling. Shut up! Anyway, we start with a collective question, because a lot of people asked me if I will write different crossovers, with many pointing to Star Trek. To those who asked this question, first of all of you are bastards! Because I answered this question many times already! But I will repeat myself this one last time. Any future questions of this kind will be ignored. So listen very closely and pay goddamn attention this time. No, I won't. Why? Reason 1. I tried to write more than one narrated series at a time, and it always ended in a disaster. I won't try such thing again. There is a reason why Damocles Gulf Crusade Rewrite series was cancelled the moment I started writing Star Wars X Warhammer 40k in earnest. Because if I tried to run those two series at once, they would both fail. Got that? Good. Here is reason 2. I'm most familiar with Star Wars and Warhammer 40k. I know close to nothing about Star Trek, Stargate, never was much of a Halo fan, although I did play the games, listened to several books and made a small series about it on this channel. Some people also ask me if I will make a Gundam versus Warhammer 40k series. And I mean, good lord, trying to mix Gundam and 40k would be about as sane as trying to hunt an alligator with a goddamn spork. And no, I don't care that a Florida man can do it, because I am not a Florida man, I am a Polish man. You want Gundam versus Warhammer 40k? Find a Florida man crossover writer who will write such a thing. I mean, Gundam is so inconsistent. No, I am not touching this idea. No, absolutely not. And reason 3. This might surprise some of you, but I have higher ambitions than to write dozens of crossovers of different sci-fi or fantasy universes. One day, I would like to write a story of my own, set in my own universe. So, again, repeating myself for the nth time, hard no to Star Trek versus Warhammer 40k, Stargate versus Warhammer 40k, Starcraft versus Warhammer 40k, one narrative series at the time. Star Wars X Warhammer 40k is what you got, and you will keep getting for a very long time. Please, I beg of you, do not ask me this type of question again. I am tired of explaining this again and again. I mean, it's like talking to a goddamn wall. Do you now understand? Please, for the sake of my own sanity and my own patience, which is crumbling, as you can probably guess, don't ask this question. One narrated series at a time. And with that irritation out of the way, let's get to the first proper question. Q&A from Gordozinho. Will there be a general reaction to human 40k technology in the wider setting? Who even is capable of maintaining the things without the mechanicum? Bold of you to assume that there are no tech priests allied to the Tau. But to answer your question, what do you think your reaction would be to something akin to undead corpse or a brain in the jar running your computer? If you said anything other than horror, disgust and concern, you should go to see a doctor. As to non-servitor tech, there are too many examples to name. Every reaction possible, from absolute horror to amusement regarding how old and ancient tech is, to downright amazement regarding some more impressive examples of imperial technology. I mean, you already had them in shorts. People are amazed by the size of Herald of Prophet and the power of their main guns. However, some technologies inside of this grand vessel are antiques, to say the least. So it all depends on exact type of technology we are discussing. With time, you will see reactions to different pieces of technology from 40k, not only that of Tau, but of Imperium and, of course, of the Eldar, but all in good time. Okay, next question from Echo Dude 429. Q&A: How are the Tau going to react to droid rights activists and the abolition movement, given the bill they just pushed through on the Senate? Are they even going to pursue something so radical as droid rights in the Sky River Galaxy, or is it some distant dream for now? Okay, first of all, you need to be more precise or be more attentive in listening, because no bill was pushed by the Tau in the Galactic Senate. That's not possible. They can't push bills because they aren't members. They can't do it. What they did was sign treaties. There is difference between a bill and a treaty. And Republic already has anti-slavery and anti-piracy laws. So it wasn't like the Tau were changing the policy or the law of the Republic. Those treaties concerned how both states would cooperate regards fighting the slavery and piracy in the given region, or the region of the Outer Rim, where the Tau currently operate. And other details, for example, how citizens of the Republic that were enslaved are to be released, or how the criminals who are criminals in the eyes of the Republic are to be transferred to the Republic courts and vice versa. So, yeah, no bill was pushed. Those were treaties. That's something completely different. But regarding the droid rights and the abolition movement, how to explain it? The Tau will be equally confused by, the fact that droids feel terror and pain in Star Wars Galaxy, and, the idea of giving them rights. Because if you look at droids in Star Wars Galaxy, a lot of them can and are sadistic, are murderous, downright, sabotaging, cruel. Some droids in Star Wars Galaxy are really fucked up. I mean, Tau trust and treat their AI well, and if they are, engrams, they even treat them as equals. For example, the Kin treat Iron Kin as their equals, but this is a long-standing part of their civilization and society. And while, for example, the Kin treat Iron Kin well, that doesn't mean they show same respect to Tau drones. Sure, they won't be cruel to them, most likely, but they will not treat them like Iron Kin. Remember that the Kin, at the core, don't see Iron Kin as simply AI. They simply see them as a different form of what they are. So in short, would the Tau support abolition movement? No. but they would support general cultural change so that droids aren't treated like slaves and, don't have capability of feeling pain and terror the same way the mortal beings of flesh and blood can. I mean, look at the HK series of assassin droids. Do you really want them to be fully independent? I don't trust those bastards. They would start murdering meatbags left, right and center. Alright, next question, very similar to the previous one, from House Dark Steed. Q&A: with as advanced as droid intelligence is, could droids be integrated as full citizens of a Tau Empire? Depends on the droids. I already given the example of HK type droid. Those couldn't be integrated. Look, the Tau trust their AI because, they created it. They also allow AI created by their allies to operate within boundaries of their societies and, in part, outside of them. For example, the Tau fully accept that Iron Kin are to be treated as equal to the Kin in the Leagues of Votan. And they have no problem with that. And, it's not stated anywhere in the doctrine of the greater good that artificial life or artificial minds can't become part of a greater good. So, overall, nothing is stopping droids to become citizens of an empire. However, I do not believe that rogue or independent droids who broke free from, oppression of Star Wars Galaxy would be welcomed with open arms. Because once a rogue, always a rogue. And again, HK series of droids, do you really want to trust those guys? Maybe they could offer them a protectorate status? Maybe full integration? Only if they accept certain hard and software created by the Earthcast. So yeah, the path to droid emancipation won't be easy or a straight one. Okay, next question from Hopper to Hacker 2. Neat name. Okay, Q&A. Will Palpatine have to rework and rebrand his empire if knowledge of the Imperium becomes more widespread by the time of the Clone Wars? Since an autocratic, humanocentric state ruled by a mysterious and shadowy emperor would be too similar to the Imperium for the Tau. Not really, no. First of all, why would Palpatine care about what the Tau think about him or his empire, assuming it will be created in this timeline, and that's not a given. But, for the sake of the question, assuming that it will be formed by the end of the Clone Wars, what the Tau think will not really be relevant. Why would he care about what the Tau think? And as to wider population of a galaxy, he would have the greatest propaganda machine in the galaxy, control over basically all media. Not hard to dismiss the concerns of a Tau with that amount of power and this kind of reach. Besides, the Galactic Empire and the Imperium are very different from one another. Yes, they share the fact that they are both humanocentric, sure, and yes, they do have a wizard emperor on a throne that looks like a dried up ballsack, but in terms of image, culture, place of religion, organization and basically everything else, they are way too different from one another. And it's multi-layered, because for example, the Galactic Empire, yes, they are humanocentric, but they don't reach the level of human supremacists and xenophobia of the Imperium of Man, where they slaughter everything that isn't human. They are nowhere close to one another. Sure, the Empire did commit genocides, and yeah, they are racist towards non-humans. That's true. However, they don't genocide every non-human ever in the galaxy. But want more striking example? Think of art and architecture of the Galactic Empire and the Imperium. The Imperium of Man is all about temples, cathedrals, the Gothic style, the gold, the statues. But the Galactic Empire, it's minimalist. It's all grey, simple. There are no, gold vessels. The Executor doesn't have like 3,000 silver statues of Darth Vader. Yeah? It doesn't. It doesn't. So outside of a surface level, there is no comparison. Let's say that the Tau do say, oh, your Galactic Empire is just like the Imperium. And the Empire might say, no, it isn't. And they will be right. So, yeah, no really a problem for Palpatine. Not really. Okay, next question from Rayburn5169. Q&A, are you setting up Reka and Veldenet as a couple because that will be peak fiction? That's not just because Badass Miss Fun-Sized and Heart of Gold Gigachad hooking up isn't absolutely hilarious, but the power couple dynamics would also be there, and in battle the situation might just be slightly reversed. I can imagine Reka taking up his father's footsteps in his own way while Veldenet is a mech pilot. A lot of spoiler potential in answering this question, but... bold of you to assume that I don't plan for Reka to have an entire harem. Don't forget now, Tau aren't monogamous. And that's all I will say for now. As usual, patience, my dears. You will have to wait and see. Alright, next question coming from Cora with Mabua 563. Apologies if I pronounce it wrong. Q&A, what is the general first-time reaction and views from the Republic corporations, the military and the Sky River Galaxy people to the Tau battlesuits? Like from the XV-15 stealth suit to the KX-13 Tau now suppressing armor. What you would expect. Shock, amazement, fear, questioning why they didn't do something similar themselves, and how in the ever-loving hell do the Tau afford all those expensive battlesuits with their amazing tech in these numbers? So corporations are very interested in their technology and want to figure out how to similarly, like the Tau, produce such battlesuits on mass scale, and more importantly, if there is a market for them, because they would be expensive. Military leaders, those who have tactical skill and appreciation of their abilities, are deathly afraid of them. General population is, interested, but you must remember that the overall galaxy, both corporations and military included, didn't really had a chance to see battlesuits in action. Like they have propaganda material given them by the Tau themselves, and reports from the Battle of Furious Ned. That's it. But those are second-hand accounts, and many do not believe the stories about the battlesuits and their capabilities. You need to wait all the way to the Battle of Rune to, that there are other third parties who will record and note the power of the battlesuits, that the wider galaxy will start to fully comprehend their power and potential. Okay, next question from Darth Sonic 4135. Q&A: how do the people in the Sky River Galaxy who are trying to figure out what is humanity's homeworld react to Terra being thrown into the mix? Two general reactions. First, dismissed it completely, believing that Tau arrived from a parallel reality, so presence of humans there is disconnected from Star Wars Galaxy, and their appearance in Sky River Galaxy is just freak accident. Two, some think that humans were transported in the distant past through similar event as the Great Displacement, but they can't agree if humanity started in Sky River Galaxy and was transported to Milky Way, where they spread, or if the humanity started in the Milky Way and spread through this bizarre event to the Sky River Galaxy. Remember that even the Tau can't be certain that Terra is true homeworld of humanity. As far as they know, that's just propaganda of the Imperium of Man. Because they do not have solid documents or, presence on Terra itself to, dig through the dust and find examples of ancient humans to, prove that, oh yeah, humanity evolved on this planet. They can't confirm it. So, in other words, the discussion became slightly more complicated and didn't resolve any questions or discussions. I'm sorry to disappoint you, Darth Sonic, but again, the characters and factions in either universes do not have Wikipedia knowledge about the settings. They simply don't. Okay, next question from Sarah Gusta. Q&A: you said that you won't have Astartes in your series, but what about the fake Astartes that the Tau made to train against?
Good luck.
Oh my god. Why? Why this question, mate? This will be a painful explanation. Especially for you. Because you will be very fucking disappointed. Okay, this question is perfect example why we are not trusting YouTube shorts of lore, so-called Warhammer 40k lore masters who have no idea what they are talking about. Sorry, I'm getting irritated. Not your fault, I am irritated because of the amount of misinformation about the Tau. What you are referring to are replicas. Those are basically androids, machines with a meaty exterior. And they are made so for one singular reason: to be realistic. So that the simulations that the Fire Warriors go through are as close to real thing as possible. The lore masters and YouTube shorts will not tell you that little detail, because they are fucking stupid. But, and that's important, the same technology you think about, you speak of, regarding fake space marines was used to create fake Krut, fake guardsmen, fake orcs, fake tyranids, and the list goes on. Do you think that a Tau could create, I don't know, a fake Farseer with their psychic might? No! No, they couldn't! It's a goddamn machine with a meaty exterior. That's it. Oh, they are powerful, they are potent, they are very close, in some regards, to the real thing, but there are also gigantic gaps in other matters. For example, the Tau couldn't replicate psychic powers with those replicas. They just can't. They can't replicate fully the miracles of Sisters of Battle, nor the skill and the training of the Astartes. Not fully. They can try really hard, but there is still a gap. So, do those replicas exist? Yes. Will the Star Wars characters face such replicas, maybe even then train against them? Maybe. Maybe. But again, those are fakes. Those are replicas. This is a training equipment. Nothing more. Those things have limited capabilities. They can sure as hell look intimidating and be deadly, but they will not match, the true thing. Just for example, imagine the Tau creating a fake Custodes. Do you really think that there would be any comparison, any challenge for a true custodian when faced with a fake one? No. No, they wouldn't. Just like proper Astartes make a short work of fake Astartes. Again, they are training equipment. They aren't clones, as some shorts will claim. They aren't. They are machines with a meaty exterior. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. Sorry to disappoint you, but they aren't that impressive when you take a closer look. Okay, next question from Rowan Williams 7947. This is more just personal curiosity, and it's more about just personal faction comparison. What would the Star Wars galaxy require to fight any of the Necrons if any story maker wanted to make a crossover with them included? Mate, I have no idea how to answer your question, because it's broad as hell. That's like a topic for a video of its own. What do you mean any of the Necrons? You mean individuals or dynasties? And do you mean major or minor ones? Because either way, Star Wars Galaxy would require a lot to deal even with a minor dynasty. In Twice Dead King, we see that Imperial Crusade fleet, powerful enough to make orcs flee in terror, was needed to bring down a minor dynasty, and even then they suffered catastrophic losses and failed to destroy all of them at the end. At the end, some Necrons managed to escape. The dynasty endured, though greatly diminished, and after losing all of their original holdings. But answering a question like, in prequel era, I don't believe anyone could challenge even a minor Necron dynasty. Republic would need to mobilize and remilitarize, which would take a shit ton of time and no small pains on the side of the Senate. I mean, the Jedi would be useless. I mean, send all of the Jedi, all of them, all 10,000, every Master, Knight, and Padawan. No, it wouldn't be efficient. No, they wouldn't manage to kill or destroy all of the Necrons. Corporations, they lack the will to fight such a war. It's not profitable. Same for the Huts. Galactic Empire era, they should have a chance. The late Empire era, they would need to have superstar destroyers, more than one. They would have to surrender, most likely, entirety of the Outer Rim and good portion of the Mid-Rim to gather enough forces to do so, but yeah, I think they would be capable of doing that. Against a minor dynasty. Because if a major dynasty is present, or by God, one led by Imhotep, the Stormlord, they lose. They just lose. Send all of the galactic army, all of them, all ships, all fleets, every single stormtrooper and every single soldier in the Imperial army. Hell, send Darth Vader, the chosen one, leading the charge, and it will clearly be revealed that Darth Vader was in fact chosen to get his shit kicked in by Imhotep, the goddamn Stormlord. I can't even start to think about a guy who could challenge Stormlord. maybe if you will have Vader, Thrawn and Grievous from 2003 version of the Clone Wars working together. Maybe. You will have a slim chance. But yeah, after I listened to the audiobook of Twice Dead King and saw what the Necrons are capable of, yeah, I just thought, no, I can't have them in a crossover. They're just too OP. The Twice Dead King is the reason why I excluded Necrons from my story, because they are beyond Avenger level threat. Okay, next question from Scary StopVat 9985. Oh, hello Scary, good to see you again. What three races within the Sky River Galaxy would be the most likely to be auxiliaries within the Tau military or navy? I mean, that's rather a hard question, seeing how diverse and overall non-xenophobic Star Wars Galaxy is. I mean, multi-species cooperation is common in Star Wars. So, the Tau would take everyone, I could just as well say humans, because they are most common in Star Wars Galaxy and Tau already have experience training with ESA, but I assume you are talking about non-humans. So, what three species would be like a good pick for the Tau to take as auxiliaries, let's say? Twi'leks. Twi'leks are the most obvious. Former slaves given the chance to fight against slavers. Relatively commonly found species, quite common especially in the Outer Rim and the region of space where Commonwealth operates at. So yeah, Twi'leks are like the obvious choice. Second position, let's say Wookiees. Their technology, the Wookiee technology, would be actually quite of interest of a Tau. Their ability to have, navigate and map out hyperlanes, that's also something that Tau would be very interested in, and of course their military potential and military skill. You can be sure that if it will be possible, the Tau would hire Wookiees as auxiliaries, or welcome them to join the Commonwealth. And 3, something a little out of the box, Verpine, the bug people, because they are very skilled engineers. So not precisely, combat auxiliaries, but someone to be, support species for the Earthcast. And partly Aircast because Verpines are good at making starships and piloting them, so yeah, those 3. Twi'leks, Wookiees and Verpines. I think those 3 are good examples of what you could expect. Okay, next question from Roma Victress 99857. Q&A, will you be integrating animations into this? Mate, with my job and what I get from Patreon and YouTube, I get around a minimum wage. What the hell do you expect from me? Commissioning art alone is expensive enough, which is why it goes through coffee and fan donations for the most part. Though I put my share amount of coin and time into this project. Animation? Where do I have to find funds for something like this? Look, I know this isn't common knowledge, so this might be shocking for you, but leprechauns have been handed down to extinction in Poland, actually. So there is no pot of gold waiting at the end of a rainbow. I also don't have Midas touch, I don't turn things into gold just by touching them, and I didn't start shitting gold. At least last time I checked, I might go after recording this and check if I started to. If I did, I would be happy to have animations for this project. But unless I start to, don't expect them. I mean, man, you need to be realistic here. For the most part, I am a one-man army. Yes, I have artists with who I work who I commission to give me art pieces. And yes, I am thankful for people who support for the art that I can commission. There are several voice actors who give their voices for the series, which I'm also very grateful for. However, writing scripts and coming up with the entire idea, keeping story cohesive, that's, for the most part, my work. Writing the script, that's me. Recording most of the lines, that's also me. Editing videos and looking for, music that isn't copyrighted, that's also me. That's a lot of work, a lot of effort. Animations? I mean, what do you expect from me with that kind of question? I mean, even if I had money to commission animations, you do realize that it would mean that you will get one episode every 2-3 months. You do understand that, right? Because animations aren't made, by the snapping of fingers. It takes time. A lot of time. I mean, the only realistic way for me to include animation in my series is by doing so through AI. And I refuse to do it. Look, I allowed myself to be carried away on the AI craze when I was writing the Damocles Gulf Crusade rewrite series. I used a lot of AI images in that series. I did. And I feel bad about it right now. Because my position changed. Before I thought it is a useful tool, but then I saw how this tool is overused and in fact abused for dumb reasons, and my position is that no, I want to support artists, actual artists, not freaking AI to create fake images. I mean, if you happen to be a billionaire and you are willing to sponsor me, I would be happy to start organizing animations for the series, even little ones for, I don't know, shorts. But again, time, money, resources, proper people who can do animations of the style I would accept for this series, it's beyond a massive challenge. So no animations, at least not from me, because last I've checked, I didn't start shitting gold. Alright, final question for today, from GGE8N3W. Q&A: if someone animates or does some fan work of this, would you mind? Only if that someone doesn't share it with me or the wider community. Look, I love fan art. I even use some of it in my series. For example, Weasel Elk made this cool portrait of an Elder Corsair for me to use in the series, and I intend to do so. I mean, Hayden Lumpkin, who I commission currently regularly, started working with me by sending me fan art. So yeah, I support fan works connected to my series. I only ask you that you inform that this work is connected to my series and that you share it with wider community. That's 2 requests I have. You do that and we are golden. I don't care about anything else. Hell, if your fan art, fan animation is fun enough, I might ask you to give me permission to use it in my series. Hell, if I find fan writing entertaining or interesting enough, I might even canonize it as a part of a story. I am fully open of, supporting creativity and expanding the vision of this series. There are many ways to contact me. Mail, Discord, YouTube, Blue Sky, Tumblr. I mean, take your pick. I am not hard to contact. But anyway, that's all the questions I deemed worthy of answer for today. If your question wasn't answered, it was either it had too complicated answer, it was connected to some bigger or smaller spoilers, or, what also happens quite a lot, it was already answered in previous Q&As, or was extremely similar to the question asked in the previous Q&As. Anyway, the next video I will be making will be about Chaos Xenos, so that should be fun. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, support me through Patreon, and definitely donate to the art budget on Ko-fi. We actually reached the goal as I was writing this very script, but, and that's important, the more money is donated to the budget, the more art will be commissioned. In fact, I might have underestimated the amount of money needed for the things before us. Still, if I will have a need for more money in the budget, I will definitely inform you. Several art pieces have already been commissioned. I have enough money to commission few more, but I fear that I underestimated the cost of some more ambitious ideas I had in mind. Anyway, a matter for the future. That will be all for today. Stay tuned and stay safe out there, my darlings.